I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that brings us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here's to not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Welcome to We Need Help. I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and today we are privileged, honored, and all the rest of it to have the wonderful Candace Tranter with us today. Candace, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, it is exciting to be right back with you girls. Thank you. So my name's Candace, and I am an integrative energy healer and officially just been certified as an elite performance coach. Not that that means anything crazy, but it was intensive, and I'm finally complete with that. But my mission is to empower individuals to be able to liberate themselves from this emotional and physical pain and trauma. And I know we're all experiencing a lot of it. When we can have a body that is free of all that, we can live a life of boundless self-expression. And what I am seeing, which is incredible, the people that I'm working with and in that, like passing seems the soul contracts are coming up, we're actually at a beautiful level that I haven't even been to before. So it's expanding into a consciousness of awesomeness. And I'm excited about that.
So for the people who listened but did not hear our last one, or maybe this is like some of it's new, I don't know, but Candace basically has been working with me for over a year. She has helped me come to an incredible level in my life. I believe wholeheartedly that she saved my mother's life. She has literally, and I just got the chills, so I know it's like
no, it makes me
confirmation.
tearful. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She has expanded my friendships, expanded my parenting, expanded my lovership. She has expanded everything through her beautiful energy work and her God-given healing. I get I have a lump in my throat. Like, Candace, thank
You're
you.
making me tear up right now. Yeah.
Thank you for who you are. And like, I want to give you to the world in any way I can. We have a lot of things at my home. We have like, beautiful events that people come and they, experience your ultimate breathing experience in my home. And that's why I want to have you on this podcast as much as possible, because I think you are such a gift to all of us. So I love you.
Oh, I appreciate that. And it's such an honor. And to hear it back, really, it blows me away every single time because it really isn't me, right? I'm a channel. I'm just so in alignment with being on purpose and allowing God, the true source, the divine wisdom to move and work through me. And the impact that that has on lives, every single time, I couldn't be more grateful. And it's always special. It's always magical. I don't care how many times it happens.
Always.
It's always like, wow. So I received that and I'm very grateful for that. And you. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
oh, well, and Izza was talking to me. She's had, and I'm just going to speak for you, Izza, because why not?
Yeah, go for it.
Like, that's what we do here. She is having an immense, issue over and over with like some people in her family. And I know I was going through the same thing. So I said, all right, this sounds like a soul contract. And I wanted to have you on to help her with that and explain soul contracts, because once you get that, you kind of stop being the victim of everything.
So do you want to share a little more yourself, Izzy, before we go into that?
I don't know what soul contracts are. So first of all, like every time Lizzy was like soul contracts, I was like, it's sort of like some karmic connection that like goes through past lives, or I didn't know what it was. And then I just have certain things that happen to me in a bodily sense when I'm around certain people with my family. So in my mind and in my heart, I'm like, I've forgiven them. Like I understand, where they came from and that they did the best they could. And this is all on this like level of like sort of heart and mind. But then my body is just reacting.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why is this happening? Like, it's completely out of my control, right? It makes no sense. It's not rational at all. But it's just a physical reaction, and that I'm completely powerless over at the moment, right? So
Sure.
and I was talking to Lizzy about that, and I'm like, I get it. Like, I don't have any resentment to any of the people in my family any longer, but why am I reacting this way physically?
Beautiful question. And that's, like I said, when we spoke about having this podcast, for me, it was like, okay, let me go into these aspects of, because like, is it real? Like, for me physically. So what are you describing? So there's a difference between, yes, we have soul contracts with family members, right? We have soul contracts. Like there's a definite soul contract between Lizzy and I. Yes, you and I have had interactions, but we have some form of contract. That's when you have a soul contract, it more feels like a completion, a home, like coming home, like this deep emotional bond that is far beyond something that you can feel just with an average person. But then there's also the difference between soul contracts and actually having an energy hook, a tentacle, or a cording, which often can feel like a soul contract, but it's a very negative fight flight response in the body. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the little story, The Little Soul in the Sun. It's a beautiful explanation. We should post it here somewhere.
Okay, we will.
It's a beautiful story. It's a kid's story, but I send it to clients all the time. So we come to this planet as the light, right? And then to experience the fullness of our light, we have to have the experience of darkness. So we have these contracts that we come here and say, for example, somebody's committed to bringing a non-ideal experience into your world for you to have the experience of forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
But we get attached to that as being a victim or being, it's being done to us. And we get so attached to the hurt and the pain of it that we forget who we are and the other person forgets who they are too. So by holding the light, so energetically though, sometimes when we are the vibration of light, so bright, the ones that have lost the way, instead of remembering who they are through different processes and clearing and getting themselves aligned with spirit again, they hook into other beings that are the light. So they energetically, and energy is real. I've done plenty energetic I call them tentacles. They look like tentacles to me. I've had my own energetic tentacles removed, generational curses. So like I said, this conversation can go into multiple different ways, but
well, and you've removed from conception tentacles around me that literally freed me in ways that like in insane ways, like to the point like I can't I'll describe one of them. From the point of conception, you removed it, and I no longer would like seriously overdrink, like over consume alcohol. It's like I just never, like I just wouldn't do it. I haven't done it since. I don't know why, but I would always go too far with my alcohol consumption before. And then after you remove those tentacles and that were put in at conception, I just never felt the need to ever do it after that.
Okay,
it's so yeah.
That's
good
because
go ahead.
I'm speaking for the laymen that are listening.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
That's
because
what I'm saying.
we're
It
trying
can
to
be
kind of
out there.
exist in this. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So,
We need you.
thank you. Like, please. So what does that mean? A tentacle at
Okay.
at conception? What is a tentacle? Where does it come from?
Okay. So let's say, for example's sake, if we can share some of yours, Lizzy. I mean, if we could immediately record after a session, because that's the thing with these sessions, right? It seems so out there, and it is out there, but I am blessed to have the training to see beyond the physical body. And I'm blessed to be able to, through the energy of Christ consciousness, be able to, so it's a negative, non-ideal energy that can be a dark force. So a tentacle can look like anything, and it can be embedded in any part of the body. So say, for example, say this individual comes in your life, you have a soul contract with them, and the soul contract's complete. But because they are experiencing the depth of pain in that soul contract, without the forgiveness and the release and let go and acknowledge that there is an interaction that's divinely orchestrated, they embed themselves energetically. So the energy can come from any part of their body. And sometimes, I mean, I have pictures of some that I've seen, but, you know, they can also feel and look. There's a lot of similarities of people's what they see and visualize, what they can taste, smell. It's a frequency that has a tangible feeling or sensation to it. But it can be like a lot of the time I can see like a dragon end of a tail is embedded in somebody's solar plexus. It's through the body, and if you try and remove it, it's like a treble hook that doesn't want to come out.
But is it like a demon? Is it from external? Is it from trauma? Like, what is it? Where does it originate? How was it born? Like
all of that. So that's the non-ideal darkness, right? So if you want to me, it's a demon, right? And trauma can look like a demonic force too, if it's not processed in forgiveness and peace and releasing out of the body. So however that person's, and this is subconscious, right? It's not somebody deliberate saying, okay, I want to embed myself in you and feed off of you.
I'm going to just release it like that.
Yeah, exactly. Because half that, like you're saying right now, and there's probably a tentacle attachment or a cording or hooking in your field from those family members that are giving you that sensation in your body. So even though mentally and emotionally, you know, you've had this forgiveness, there's this energetic tie that actually needs to be removed so you can have that freedom. They can have the freedom.
So I have a question. All right. I'm like, I connect with my higher power on a daily basis.
Mhm.
Can God remove that? Or does it need to be removed by a professional? Or can I remove it? Like, how does it get removed? Who removes it?
God's always going to be the one doing the work, right? And you're going to have people. So again, I feel totally honored and gifted that God works through me, and I am gifted that it's a superpower really to me. Like, and again, it's supernatural, it's magical. So that is one of my gifts, is to be able to hold space and see and visualize, use my mental capacity to be able to remove those up. But I'm not doing it. I'm part of the facilitating of it.
You're God's tool.
I'm a tool, absolutely. But I've also been a tool personally, allowing God to remove it from myself. So I've done the work myself along the way. That's how I originally discovered these tentacles. And the thing is, with these tentacles, they can also be lost. They can also not only come from another person, they can also come from a lost entity that just wants not, again, these are, you know, it's energy, right? It's something I'm seeing and believing because I see it. But there's multi-million different ways and places to experience something.
Energy is real because, I mean, it's scientifically real. It's not something that, so if you believe just in science or you believe just in the Bible, they both are like proven, or I mean, they both you can align with.
Exactly. Whatever you believe is going to be something that is going to be real for you, right? So if this is true for someone else or not, it doesn't really matter. For me, I am seeing the impact, and there's proof of the impact of the work that I do, because like Lizzy, her mom, and all the experience. My cat's name's Lizzy, Lily. Oh no, I'm confusing the both of you. My cat's Lily, and my son's girlfriend is Lily. But for me, the reality of the work I do is present in the expression of proof.
Yeah.
people are having a result energetically, and I'm not telling them always immediately what I'm doing. So it's not like they are getting impact by what I'm saying.
Yeah,
They're getting impact by the result. Yeah.
you didn't do this. You didn't start this kind of talk when we first had a session.
Now, can you imagine? I don't
No.
always say everything I'm seeing, because it can be like, I mean, people often say, I don't know what the hell she does, but here's Candace's number. She can help you.
Many
Because it's hard
times.
to really, yeah. It's hard to really
Yeah,
put
because if you're like, I got this
words.
chick who can remove a tentacle and
A demon,
Yeah,
like you do you.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, of
So
God.
your energetic sensation and feeling on your body is an indication that also, like our family members, we have soul contracts with our family members, right? So there's some indication that there's a part of you that still needs some healing. It might not even be a tentacle. It
Well,
also can be a fight flight response. Yep.
Do you
Okay.
remember when you said, you're glomming onto your mom and holding her down? Like I
Yep.
was so attached to my mother,
Yeah.
that, and my worry and stress on her because she was going through something really bad. My worry and stress and I was holding on to her for dear life. Candace was like, you need to let go of her or she's going to drown. Like you're drowning her. You're holding her
Yeah.
down.
That's
And
super interesting. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
once I let it go, she started to swim up and she started to thrive and she started to move forward instead of being held back. And it was weird because it was like she lost 125 pounds. Like,
Right there.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean, that was such a special moment. And I mean, again, it's a miracle every time, right? I mean, in that moment, Lizzy was so afraid to let go in case her mother died, right?
mhm.
But if she didn't let go in that moment, her mother would have died.
yeah.
I mean, and that's energy. And
Yeah.
again, it's not always intentional, right? So this might not, there were energetic cords, and these are soul contracts that come through. So there's hereditary curses as well as soul contracts. I mean, like I said, we could speak on this for days and days and days and days. But when we have a soul contract commitment with somebody, it can often feel really comforting. Somebody's going to come through in your life like we did in that moment of time, that there's a deep trust. I mean, are you okay with us sharing some of this, Lizzy? Because it was your experience. Okay. So she had to really fully trust in that moment that what I was there for. And then it took some time. Because I've removed tentacles energetically from myself, they acknowledge me, they know me, they know I'm going to bring them to the light. Basically, it can be a lost entity that infuses inside your body and feels like it is you. But there's something not right about it.
Mhm.
And that's
Like a
where,
poltergeist in a house.
it enters you, and it's almost controlling, and it's a need outside of you to fulfill something. And like I said, it gets lost. And alcohol, drugs, all the addictions come from trying to fill this void or avoid the sense and feeling of this. But when we have soul contracts, it's this complete trusting and knowing that that person has put in divine timing in your path to be able to assist you in ascension, growth, healing, whatever it is. So soul contracts are not always a negative thing. If we think of a soul contract, we can often think like, oh, it's a negative thing. It's tentacles, it's all this horrible stuff. But actually a soul contract is this deep sense of knowing, like you know this person from another lifetime or an experience, or it's like a emotional, spiritual depth of connection beyond a normal interaction with somebody. And it's a divine timing. It's a perfect timing. It's a time when you're in a deep darkness and this light flickers there for you. So it's not always this dark, deep, yucky thing.
How does can you help? She's in this, I know we choose our parents. I've always just instinctively known that. But she chose her parents and her mom, I mean, she's grown up and her mom's grown up but her, you know, how does it work when your contract is over? Like,
I mean, yeah, that's what I know. It's not the contract isn't for life. There's like an expert
it doesn't
some
have
for
to
life.
be.
Is it just like a span? Like how, yeah, what's the deal?
Okay, so this is beautiful. Right now, we're living in a space and time where we are fulfilling karmic lifetime contracts. So we're on super speed right now to be able to clear any and all contracts from all lifetimes, and we don't have to repeat patterns. We're in a space and time and vibrational frequency on this planet where we get to choose to be free from all of it. We're in an amazing lifetime. So there are
Why now?
processes.
Why now?
We've shifted, the earth has shifted, and we shifted in February, the age of Aquarius, the frequency of it's just the part of evolution of the planet, and we can all feel it, right? And our physical bodies are, if we hold on tightly to these old contracts, these experiences, these feelings in the body, it's going to be more difficult and painful along the way. So how do we help process these contracts and things, which I'll share in a minute? But we are literally shedding all of it right now. If you choose, you can choose to keep carrying it around, but it is miserable.
How do you choose?
You can choose to be free of it. So you can, okay, obviously we first want to make sure there's no tentacles, there's no attachments, we clear those. There's also interactions with people in the past and our family members that we create these fight flight responses in the body every time we have an interaction with them, and they become an allergy or an addiction. So not only do we get addicted to foods and substances, we actually get addicted to the emotional, chemical response in the body every time you have that experience with that person. So probably what's happening with you, both scratched our nose at the same time, so I wonder what that is. What's happening with you, probably there could be a fight flight response in the body that's the addiction, right? So it's a non-ideal. So give me some words that can explain how you feel in that moment of discomfort.
The first word that came up to me is like smashed. Like I feel crushed.
Okay. Smashed, crushed.
Resentful. Yeah, very resentful. Irritated. Physically though,
do you feel it in any part of your body?
Shoulders, like back,
both shoulders.
Like
okay.
I have to carry something.
Okay, beautiful. What else? You said, was it anxiousness?
Irritation, anger.
Anger. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
So how do you ideally want to experience your interaction with them while you're together?
I think neutral. Like I would like to be neutral, not one way or the other, just kind of peaceful.
Okay, neutral, peaceful.
Yeah.
And ideally, if you can be neutral and peaceful, how would that impact your relationship?
I think it would just be more accepting. Like I would just
acceptance.
Yeah, it would be like lighthearted and like fun and,
Beautiful.
easy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So what you've just described right now is your allergy and addiction to the relationship that you are having. So the addiction is feeling smashed, crushed, anger, resentful, irritated, and the last word you said there? I don't know what my handwriting says there, but so that is now the addiction. So every time you have that interaction with them and that anger, resentment, irritation comes up, the chemical responses, the cortisol, those chemicals that get produced in the body it's almost like your quick fix. Even though you don't want to have that experience, there's some part of your body, maybe it's in your kidney, there's, I have to spend time muscle testing and finding out where it is, and we'll do a quick process right now just to help you neutralize that, because this alignment technique is really quick and easy, and that's the whole point. We want to neutralize those non-ideal emotions in the body, so then we can choose how we want to feel. Right now, it's not a choice. You're actually coming from that repetitive cycle, so it's no longer a choice unless you make really a huge effort to change your way of being. This alignment technique can make it happen fast, which is awesome. I have like 30 tools in my Embrace the Dragonfly Effect quest that I literally use myself to clear contracts, curses from energetic hereditary past. And it wasn't an easy process. It was a grueling process. And everything that I use in that program is what helped me.
Can
But
you
now
tell
I've
us a
even
little bit about the program before we move on? And I'm going to close this curtain because I swear, it was raining all day. The minute
now
we
the
logged on
brightest.
with you, the sun just started beaming
Oh,
through.
beautiful. There we go. We got the lights, baby.
Hey guys, remember to go to We Need Help, the podcast, for all different kinds of stuff like our swag. You can find the episodes, you can find the books that we're focusing on, all the methodologies. Please go to We Need Help, the podcast today and enjoy the rest of the episode. Real quick, how do we get the dragonfly effect?
I'm actually going to I have a free group called the Zole Culture on Facebook, and I am going to be doing a webinar on there. Let me see. I wasn't actually expecting to speak about this, so I don't remember the dates. Give me a second. The 24th, I'm going to do a webinar on the dragonfly effect and go a little bit more in depth about that. So I can send you that information. I do want to do this little process with you because it'll be really helpful. So your there it is. So the neutral, peaceful, acceptance, lighthearted, fun, easy, those have now become your allergies. So you push away the thing that you actually desire and attract what you don't want because some part of your body has experienced pain in the past when you have wanted to show up light, fun, connected, neutral with your family.
Yeah.
So even though you want it, there's a part of your body that's like, hell no, I'm going to make sure you stay in these spaces of feeling anger, resentment, frustration, because that's going to keep you safe. So it makes sense, and the body is always going to. And it's all energy. It's all energy, and energy is always moving, and you can transform it. So if you'd like to do a quick process, I think this will help anybody going through this. It's really quick and easy. We can do that. So I just want you to tap on your heart. To say, when I am confronted with my family, I feel smashed and crushed.
When I feel confronted with my family, I feel smashed and crushed.
I just have this extreme sense of resentment and anger.
I have this extreme sense of resentment and anger.
I feel really irritated when I'm around them.
I feel really irritated when I'm around them.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
I can choose to feel differently.
I can choose to feel differently.
Or I can choose to stay the same.
Or I can choose to stay the same.
It's my choice.
It's my choice.
So now we're going to do something called an alignment. You're going to tap from your third eye, breathing in through your nose to the back of your head. And then jump forward and then breathe out your mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. And then I'm going to pant like a dog. And then big smile.
Okay, so everybody who is listening to this on Spotify or on Apple, you can go to YouTube and see this process if you're confused on how to do it.
Okay, beautiful. So now just go for a moment now and think about those people that cause that irritation and anger and frustration in your life. And see if there's any change in the feeling that you feel that you were feeling before.
It's interesting because there is. It feels more neutral. It really does. Yeah.
So is there any other negative thought, feeling, or sensation coming up right now that we can just acknowledge? Do you feel anywhere in your body? Actually, just tap on your shoulders. Tap on your shoulders. I don't have to take responsibility for everyone's feelings around me.
I don't have to take responsibility for everyone's feelings around me.
I release all responsibility that is not mine.
I release all responsibility that is not mine.
I allow myself to feel and take responsibility for my own feelings and experiences.
I allow myself to take responsibility and feel my own feelings and experiences.
I allow myself to release the tension in my shoulders and neck.
I allow myself to release the tension in my shoulders and neck.
I allow myself to forgive myself.
I allow myself to forgive myself.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I love you.
I love you.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
And thank you.
Thank you.
So go ahead and align. And 3 rounds. Big smile.
That's cool.
So we're not complete yet. We'll go to the positive now, because now you're in a space of neutrality, and that's exactly what this process does. We're tapping out the non-ideal addiction energies out of the body. So we're stimulating the cells to pop out those frequencies and energies, because it's all energy, right? And it's holding and hosting itself in your body. When we're tapping like that, this is the governing meridian of the body that feeds all the different energy centers, the emotional centers, and using the breath, we are relaxing the parasympathetic system. So you're becoming neutral now. So now you are neutral. We want to add how you want it to be.
Mhm.
So you can tap on your hearts again. When I'm around my family members, I can be in a space of neutrality.
When I'm around my family members, I can be in a space of neutrality.
I allow myself to feel peaceful regardless of others' expectations or actions.
I allow myself to feel peaceful regardless of others' actions or expectations.
I am in full acceptance no matter what's going on around me.
I'm in full acceptance of no matter what's going on around me.
I can be in the space of lightheartedness, fun, and ease.
I can be in the space of lightheartedness, fun, and ease.
I allow others to see that as a joy and love that emanates from me.
I allow others to see that joy and love that emanates from me.
I allow and accept and deserve this now.
I allow and accept and deserve this now.
I am love.
I am love.
I am light.
I am light.
And I am free of any and all non-ideal soul contracts.
And I am free of all non-ideal soul contracts.
Beautiful. Go ahead and align. Big smile.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So just sense and feel your body for a moment. I want you the next time before you go to your family members, I want you to see yourself showing up in that light-hearted, playful, neutral space, not attached to how anybody shows up, that you can be that frequency that you desire.
Mhm.
And then just sense and feel and experience it before you arrive, and then you step into that frequency.
Nice.
You
I think-
look like you feel better.
I feel better. I
knew
do.
you would.
Candace, can I
Yes,
ask what the dog panting does?
Okay, so yeah, again, all of that is the breath. Any different types of breathing techniques. We are relaxing the parasympathetic. We're feeding the vagus nerve. We're bringing the body into a coherent state. When we are incoherent and when we're at those fight-flight responses, we can't see possibilities, we can't see opportunities, we can't connect through heart, right? We're connecting through the mind that cannot compartmentalize love, peace, and understanding, because it's like electric wires that are spazzed out all over the world. So we're bringing ourselves through the breath, nose breathing, mouth breathing, two different. Nose breathing is going through the brain, the blood-brain barrier, feeding the parasympathetic. The mouth breathing can go into the emotional state. So it's all going into the emotional state, but it's bringing you into alignment and being coherent and being neutral. So yes, it's a little weird. The smile anchors it in.
That makes sense, actually.
Mm-hmm. So you're feeding that governing meridian, which feeds everything. The breath is calming you. The smile is anchoring. Such a quick, easy process. And this is a very basic version of the alignment technique. There's very in-depth versions. And again,
So
this will tell you whether, when you go into that space again, how you're feeling and experiencing that interaction, the soul contract of non-ideal is complete. If you feel it's not, you can do something called the 3-letter technique. You write what I'm angry about, keep it to the side. It's a big FU letter.
Yeah.
All your FUs. It can take days. Wrap it up, put it to the side. Yeah, takes days. Can do. The next letter is, wow, did I look in my backyard and I can take full responsibility for my part to play in it. Whatever someone's blamed you for, you take full responsibility. What's that?
It's a fourth step. It's in AA. That's what we do.
Okay.
We do the whole, we
beautiful.
write out all our resentments, every single one that we've ever had from the very
Beautiful.
beginning. Yeah.
Beautiful. So then your second letter is taking responsibility, and your last letter is what I love and appreciate about you. Then you burn them. That completes a soul contract. So there's multiple different ways you can assist and help you clear a non-ideal soul contract or a completion of a soul contract. So there's not that interaction of energy that's hooking on or holding on to the experience. Because we have soul contracts.
How do you know when a perfectly good soul contract is over? Like, does it become uncomfortable, or like
It's definitely discomfort, right?
I'm thinking of one. It was this friendship that I had. It was wonderful, and then it was like so annoying. And it was just like everything she was fucking doing was like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
talking about me.
Yeah,
it was you. No,
I would never say get the fuck out of here, no matter how much you annoyed me. But and then COVID hit, and we literally just did. It wasn't volatile. It wasn't weird. We just never spoke again.
Yeah, I have a couple of those.
It was like the most beautiful transition of a contract ending. Like, I'm just thinking of that one being the most. I mean, I was feeling irritation, but it felt like a tag on the back of my neck,
scratching at you.
It was irritating. But then COVID hit, and I think I was irritating her too. And we just didn't speak again. And it was like so beautiful.
That's a beautiful ending of a soul contract, because some of them do take a little bit more effort. And sometimes, like right now, we're experiencing Mercury in retrograde, right? So those old soul contracts come up to say, are you really complete with me? Yeah. And instead of diving into them. So parts of what you experience too, that can be a mirroring. What part of you needs to see something internally that still needs that shift? And literally, February, there was a major decision we all made to choose to go either way, right? And obviously we've chosen the light. We're here to share the light with others. But there's a distinct feeling of separation in energy. You can feel it interacting even with people that you've had in your life for a long time. Like, I've had a lot of relationships that had to end in the last year. Like, you cannot move or grow anymore. And that can be a sense and feeling, right? That irritation, that feeling and sense of you feeling stuck. Like there's this glass container around you that almost like, oh, you want to get out of. You can't grow anymore with that person.
How do you know? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. How
do you know when it's complete? Time? Like, will it just happen, or
not always?
Feeling stuck, like you feel it, but then sometimes you don't have the strength to leave, for example.
So sometimes it'll happen for you, and sometimes you have to make it happen. And it's a kind of a knowing, and definitely that discomfort. There's a lot of clients I'm working with right now that are going through stages of divorce, either are on the brink of it, or, sometimes the work I do brings marriages back together, and sometimes it quickly makes it go the opposite direction. So the soul contracts that you're holding on to, that you deeply are feeling pain around and you're not wanting to let go, it will happen for you. Same like when I was in my acupuncture clinic with a partner, I had grown past it. I knew energetically that I was just uncomfortable. I knew I was being called for more. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know where I was supposed to be. And I even said, I'm going to have to hurt myself to get out of this space, because I'm stuck here. And literally, I broke my wrist in 3 places. And it was the most exciting. Well, that was 7 years ago. It was and knowing inside that was freedom for me. But
Yeah.
you don't have to choose to hurt yourself to release yourself from a contract. You can
You have to
have
break your own
more.
wrist 3
Yeah.
times.
I mean, it wasn't
Easy. You just
deliberately.
break your
Yeah.
wrist in 3
Yeah.
places.
I've had
It wasn't.
relationships that I would literally break anything to get the fuck out of. Like,
So then you know for sure that those relationships are done, and you need to make those hard decisions. It can be really hard sometimes, and part of that growth on making that hard decision is part of your expansion. So there's not an easy way to know for sure. It's a feeling in a sense, and if you're repeating the same pattern again and you're angry and frustrated, you're angry and frustrated at yourself,
mhm.
not the other person.
Yeah, obviously.
It's your
Yeah,
own self.
I have a question for you because you're a believer in God and Jesus, and how do you know what's God's will and what's your will? How do you align the two?
I am always, even before I came onto this podcast, I'm calling on God, the true source, the infinite wisdom, to make sure whatever's said is only the truth and the light and is spoken through me how it's meant to be presented. So I'm always holding that container and praying and being in that presence before I go into any session with somebody. And even my interactions, before I wake up in the morning, that is my prayer. God, true source, calling upon that divine wisdom, the all-knowing. Jesus is one of my guides personally. That's just been an interaction and a beautiful experience that 6 years ago, Jesus came to me personally. So for me, it's the frequency of Jesus that works through my body. And I know that for sure because I'm praying that, I'm asking for that, and I'm declaring that only the truth to be revealed. And I think that's really important too, is asking only the truth to be revealed, because even a Christian person, the enemy can come through there too. So you
I
have
think the
to make
enemy,
sure.
you can say you're Christian, but there are a lot of people out there that are working on their own will, even if they say they're
Absolutely.
Christian.
Yeah.
So I also, now, because we're having a spiritual warfare before a physical one, right? We can feel it. We are literally, and the brighter you are, the harder. When I'm like, God, why are we getting attacked more since we're the light? I mean, that's not fair. Like, we should, but
That makes
the
sense.
stronger you get in your faith and the brighter you burn, I don't have that feeling of victimness anymore. Like, that's not fair, but energetically too, I'm surrounding myself with this golden bubble of protection that's self-cleansing, healing, actualizing, realizing, and repairing at all levels, all dimensions, all time frames. So when I'm entering these alpha states and these dimensions, I know that I'm safe and protected. And I was baptized. So before I got baptized, I had an extremely terrifying experience with dark energy entering my body. I was violently ill for 24 hours with burning skin. So I'm fully aware of the impact that if you're not protected energetically. So yes, you got to have God's truth, wisdom, protection on you when you're doing any work like this, because it's scary out there if you don't. And again, this is a belief of mine, right? I mean, anyone can have any other belief. Whatever your belief is going to be your reality. So is any of this true? Who knows? But here it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's like, faith is faith. And I mean, I didn't believe in anything out of pure darkness. Like, I was just had been broken down. I couldn't see the light. It had to be so obvious to me, like my brother came to me and proved it to me. So like, a lot of people just are in pure darkness, and I get that. So it's like,
struggling. There's people struggling right now. And that's the thing. We're being stripped of everything, all of our comforts, all of our knowledge from the past, to rely completely on your faith. We really are being stripped of everything right now. And the more you hold on to what you think it should have been from the past, the more uncomfortable you're going to be. It's trust and surrender now more than ever before.
So do you believe in soulmates?
Yes, for sure. And it's basically like a soul contract, right? And we have multiple soulmates in a lifetime. I mean, I know I have had
I know.
multiple soulmates in a lifetime for sure already. So, I mean, there's plenty of them. Some people have a soulmate for life. I haven't had that experience. I think, I don't know, my energy, I'm just constantly moving, changing, expanding, and
You
you've
have
got to
one
keep
night
up with me.
soulmates.
Yeah, exactly. Plenty of them. No. Yeah, for sure. There's definitely, I mean, a soul, like I've
Will
had an
you be my
experience not
one?
so long ago.
Will you be
Can you
my
be my
one
one
night
night soulmate?
soulmate?
Yeah.
Just for
I don't know.
fun.
And my grandparents have, I mean, sorry, my aunt and uncle, I think they've been married right now for 75 years. They're
Wow.
in their 90s. And
They're vampires.
my grandparents were married for 65 years, as were their parents. My dad and my mom are both been married 3 times each. So I did what they did in half the time. And whatever's next, who knows? There's plenty time to experience soulmates for sure. I believe that there are.
I think friends can be soulmates. I like
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean, I
think
feel like as weird as it sounds, I think my dad's like my soulmate. Like my soul just like feels confident around him. It's weird.
Yeah. No, but there's that soul contract that has that essence of feeling safe, feeling a deep connection. You've probably done other lifetimes together. So that's a deep soul contract that has that sense of knowing that it's beyond this present time and space. So it's a little different to a soul mate that, no, maybe not. I don't know.
What
I
about
can't
a
say that
twin
for sure.
flame?
Yeah, what are those? I love do you listen to the podcast about the twin flames? They're great.
Have you seen that documentary on
Yes.
Netflix about the twin
Great,
flames?
yeah.
Okay, so after that, I got kind of weirded out. I'm like, I, again, I believe that anything you feel and think to believe is true will be truth for you. And yes, you do. I've sensed soulmate. I mean, twin flames, they rub you up the wrong way and they make you go deep dive into those dark spaces and shadows that are not comfortable. So I'm not
Right.
looking for a twin flame, just letting everyone know on the podcast.
Yeah, because
I'm definitely up for a soulmate or somebody nice. Yes. I
we
had
do
enough of
have
those.
listeners that actually want to meet you, just so you know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I've gotten several DMs about meeting up with you. And then
Ooh,
yeah, and
you're
then
making me blush.
and there was one guy, he said, well, I guess Candace wasn't interested in me. And I said, actually, I never told her about you.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
That was divine protection.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's divinely protecting me. Thankfully, I have all my angels around me protecting me. I had just before I came on this call, I got teared up. I had posted, a couple of days ago about just where I was at that time and going through all that trauma. And my mom wrote the most beautiful, just like having to watch me, how hard it's been for her as a mother to be able to really let me go and fall and to watch me rise on my own. And, I was like, thanks a lot just before I'm going on the podcast because I was like teared up. But, she gave me that ability for my own children too, to be able to let them fall, let them go, and not attach to, and it's not easy, right? I mean, my son went through all that hell that 1 year. And at some point, I want to share that story because, I mean, not only his, multiple of that year, but to really allow somebody else to have the experience of being the human that they've chosen to be without the interaction. So that's when often those cordings come into place, is we don't want to have that person around us have that pain or experience that's not ideal, that hurts, because we're trying to save them from that. But that's what causes the cording. And that's an unhealthy cording and attachment to someone else. You've got to allow people around you to have their experiences. Yes, you can feel compassion for them and you can offer assistance if they need, but not to jump in and don't let them have that fall.
Well,
Yeah,
when we're children, like I know it was the same with you, Izza, and same with me. When I was a child, I felt I a codependency. I felt I wanted my mom for selfish reasons so she could get her shit together for me to be
Yep.
to be okay. And so I didn't know how to stop doing that
Mm-hmm.
into my adulthood. And I don't think I think a lot of us don't realize that we're codependent because we want it to be okay for ourselves.
Oh,
And
yeah, absolutely.
and when we're kids, like, of course, that's like your ultimate selfish human, like you're trying your best to
You
make
want
it
to feel
okay.
safe. Yeah,
Yes.
feeling safe. But as a child, you don't have that ability, right, to
Mhm.
understand it all. And exactly the process you went through is also divinely orchestrated. So there's no wrong or right about it, right? I didn't know I was a codependent because to me, a codependent is somebody stuck up the other person's butt and can't do something without them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine was the opposite codependency, giving myself up to make sure someone else around me is completely happy, fulfilled, and jumping in to save and all those things. So it's, codependency comes in different ways and forms, but part of your life journey was to have that
Oh,
codependency, for
100%.
that experience that happened in that moment of release. Our interaction at that perfect time, that's the soul contract. Everything is divinely intricately connected, perfect timing, experience exactly how it's meant to be, but we have freedom to choose, right? You could have chosen to carry on holding on to that for the rest of your life and being miserable.
Mm-hmm.
God gives us free will. So yes, we have all this predestined plan and interactions, but we also have free will and how we're going to interact with them as we go along.
I love it. I love it.
So good. We could speak for hours,
Thank
and I
you,
know
Candace.
we've got to
So
be time
awesome.
up soon. But you feeling better? I
I
can see
am.
you lighter too, and I'm excited to hear that experience next time. Just see it. It's an immediate alignment to that truth.
And then
So
for these deep breathing exercises that we did, and the tapping, we just do that ourselves. Like that's
so preferably, I mean, yes, but there's actually a book called the Cellular Alignment Technique, which you can get and buy. That is the whole process. If somebody wants to have a full session with me, would be better first before going
Highly,
to, yeah.
highly, highly recommend. I it will expand your life completely. I'm sorry, just tell them how to get it because everybody should do it.
So actually my website is zoleexperience.com, ZOLE experience.com. On there's all, you can look at my integrative energy healing sessions. We have the Zole event, the Divine Feminine Activation, coming up in June, which you guys are sponsoring, which I'm so excited. You'll be on the
We
website.
are.
Everyone gets to see you. And yeah, on there's a free download for the 6 daily practices to be able to clear energy, enhance your energy field. It's a PDF. It's got breath work on there. It's got, there's lots of little things that you can play and find and experience. Zole exclusive free Facebook group where I go live every morning at 9. We do breathing and tapping and clearing there. So anybody is welcome to come in there. It is a female energy space. I am being called for bringing masculine together, which will come at some point for sure. Men need it. Obviously, my one-on-ones are not limited to female.
You've
but
done one-on-ones with Jason, and I highly recommend.
sending your husband.
Yeah, exactly. Bring your husband over to me. I'll sort him out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she fixes your husband in all the ways, but so I really do encourage people to do that for themselves, and you don't need to be face to face. It's you can be on Zoom.
Yeah, energy is energy. You don't have to be there personally. I mean, you just had a shift right now, having an interaction, doing a very tiny process. So for sure, anywhere, anywhere on the world, as long as you have Zoom or, or even WhatsApp, if you don't want to go live, I prefer to see somebody energetically. It's nicer. Can have that interaction. But yeah, absolutely. Just an honor to be here with you girls. Just love the energy, love what you're up to. And you just keep shining your light and sharing your voices with the world, because we all need help.
We need
Me
help.
too.
Well,
Thank
thank you, Candace. It's an honor.
Yeah. Oh, how did you do that?
Magic energy.
Ah, Do you know what's so
and
crazy?
this is like
Sometimes
really a coincidence because my mom is calling me right now. And it's
Aw.
very into her
answer it
episode.
right now. No.
I will. Halo? Cześć, jeszcze minutka i odzwonię. Już skończyłaś? Dobrze, to zamówię taksówkę. Nie, ja zamówię ci taksówkę. Buziaczki. Candace and Lizzy say hello.
Hi, Mom.
And the rest of the world.
And the
Candace
rest of
and
the world.
Lizzy są na cole. Mówię cześć. She says hello. Okay, zamówię taksówkę i odzwonię. All right, bye. I love that. I love those little.
So this is very common, right?
Yeah.
It's very common. When we do energy work on and often removing tentacles, this was not a tentacle removal. This was an example of confirmation that she felt that experience. And it happens all the time. We can remove unhealthy energetic attachments and that person will call or try and connect. And I normally say to people 24, 48 hours without connection to that non-ideal, not yours, because that, like I said, that was an acknowledgement of something beautiful. There was not a tentacle embedded energy. She's calling out of lightness.
Yeah.
That's the feeling.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if
that's
someone's
what I got.
having it literally is like an open heart surgery when you do these extractions. So you have to hold that space of really honoring yourself until 24 to 48 hours until you feel that strength and integration before having that communication.
I love that.
Amazing.
Thank you.
I love you, girls. Such
you.
good
Love you too.
stuff. And
I
I will
love
see you
you.
soon. I love you
Next
more. I love you both.
Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us this week on We Need Help, the podcast.
Make sure to like, subscribe, like again our YouTube channel, our Instagram, follow us wherever you can. It really, really helps us out and ensures that you won't miss any future episodes. So, yep, thanks to you, we can keep going.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.